Hello again, everyone. Coach Rachel here. This is part 2 of a 3-part installment of talking about the Adidas Adios Pro 4, and now we're on to the, look at my sheet because it's a long name, the Puma Fast R Nitro Elite 3s. The one that everybody's wanted, the one that is in laboratory, depending on where you're from, tested to be faster, about 3.5% faster than Adidas, Nike, you name it. They're the fastest according to Puma. So obviously, stay tuned for more information on that because we need to repeat studies and make sure. Either way, they are fast shoes. Don't get me wrong, I think they are very good. So let's dive into some particulars on this shoe. Heel, we're looking at 40 millimeters. In the back here and up in their forefoot, we are looking at 32, so that's an 8 millimeter drop. Very, very light shoe. If you're a men's 8, they are just 170 grams, which is 6 ounces. If you're a women's 7.5, they're only 5.2 ounces, which is 146 grams, somewhere in there. Just stupid light. And so I did, just the other day, I did 4 times 1.5 mile intervals in them. Not the warm up or cool down because boy howdy, these aren't gonna last that long. Just the essential parts to get an idea of how fast they are. So 4 by 1.5 miles is actually a pretty good workout. It's a little bit of volume, but I'm pushing the shoe at speed because these are carbon plated shoes and they're supposed to run fast. So I ran as fast as I could to give you all some wonderful information on them. So let's dive right into what I think of them. They are fast. The plate has a great spring off as you want from a carbon plated shoe. Again, just like I talked about in the Adidas video, this toe off, it's very aggressive, so if you have bunion issues, please be very careful. And of course, calf, Achilles complex, anything there, please be very careful with the shoe. It's not a good time if you're gonna get injured before your marathon or half marathon. So speaking of those two things, I'm gonna be hard pressed to recommend these for a marathon. Unless you're sub 3 hour and you're very quick and efficient on your feet and you have no stability issues, then press on, keep going. I'm more reserved to recommend these for almost anybody else in the marathon. They are not that stable underfoot. So in shorter distances, it's really not a big deal. And if you try to look at this in big picture, we can always work on our foot stability and foot strength. So that's not necessarily a swipe at Puma so much as we need to have our healthiest bodies in our shoes. So as it goes, but that's just kind of the way the world works. It's kind of narrow. I did kind of run into that, but this is such breathable mesh. I had it's very hot in Texas, so I had a decent time trying to ventilate heat off of my feet. But it's still swampy. I had to really push my heel into this heel counter to get a good lockdown. And as I was doing these intervals, newsflash, I do have a bunion on my left foot. It was getting a little bit sore. I think in the second rep, I kind of noticed it. But these shoes are so inviting to just run on the forefoot. They really like to be here. And my left foot, I actually run more forefoot than I do in my right foot. So it double over kind of exasperates the bunion issue. However, I noticed, and rightfully so, to really use the shoe appropriately, I actually came back just a little bit, or I was thinking I was, and then really worked through midfoot to forefoot, and I found the ride a little more delightful. Essentially, it was more comfortable. I felt like, okay, that's what you're supposed to do. You just hit midfoot and roll it forward. So keeping to the theme of your strike pattern, as you can tell in the back here, is really not going to be forgiving. It could almost be unsafe if you are a heel striker. There's nothing back here to protect you, and the tread is very minimal. The tread's very minimal through this whole thing. So if you do end up springing for a pair of these, please keep in mind that this is all just soft. This outer might go 100 miles. That's obviously dependent on your cadence, body size, things like that, terrain or surface, anything in that, as far as those go. half marathon, certainly a 5K, 10K. But yeah, the marathon, this is going to be a little bit harder. The Adidas, I would think, would serve better over the longer haul. So just keep that in mind purchasing these. I don't know if they're worth the price that they that they go for. So I'm not going to say a pass on it. Please try them out. If you can return them if you don't like them. But there's plenty of shoes out there. Don't get caught in that data marketing. So yes, they're great. Yes, they're wonderful. I do recommend in this sense, but don't go down this one track mind of only Puma. There's Hoka has a good comparable shoe to it. Nike Steady as they go. The Sauconys are all great too. So really, they're all wonderful. So stay tuned for part 3. I'll actually do a little more breakdown comparison between the two.